That's about right.
Just give yourself like a 5-second count and you can edit this up.
Hello and welcome to... I really should have thought this out. I remembered we don't have a title. Whatever I'm going to call this, which you will see either in a nice little edited in section, trying to be a tool.
We're doing the Wicked and the Divine.
Yeah, we're talking about the Wicked and the Divine. I am Callum Tyndall, and if you're listening to this through Geek Pride, you probably don't know who I am, but I'm an editor and writer, and you might have heard me on such podcasts as the Geek Pride main podcast and Dark Knights of the Round Table.
And I'm Hayden Palmer. I sort of live in his house, and you really shouldn't know who I am. If you do, you're kind of stalking me, and quite frankly, this just me face to face.
The suggestion that it's my house, like I've got you kept in the basement.
You do pay the bills.
I do. I'm so glad I wasn't built today. You know my problem? Dark Knights of the Round Table, which you should check out. Mike Orvis comes in. Also, if you listen to Geek Pride podcast, you'll know who he is.
Do you want to add him in just now?
If I can just... Hi, Mike. We've got Mike on the line. He gets to come in on every Geek Pride podcast and introduce himself as, "Hi, I'm Mike Orvis, the resident beard." Which is like, that's a nice podcast title.
We have no beards.
We have no beard. And then when he comes in on Dark Knights of the Round Table, which we also do with Greg Moore, he's a great guy who has actually not killed me for my disrespect of Tim Drake yet. So, thank you, Greg.
Quite honestly, you do need to be executed.
I know.
Tim is the best.
I blame the alcohol in my system whenever we're doing the podcast. It's a recurring theme. But then Mike does his big, extravagant introduction as this great, my comic book guru. He showed me the light of Batman and so on.
Yeah, you don't get that.
And then I'm just like, "Hi, I'm Callum." It's just, I don't have a snappy tagline. The best I could come up with in my head the last time we did it was, "I'm the resident shaved." And I was like, that doesn't sound good.
That was the resident shamed in that case.
No one wants that. Anyway, yes, as mentioned, today we are talking about The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 1, which is, I don't know if this... Is Image an imprint of, like, DC, or is the comic an imprint from Image?
So I'm just going to remind Callum here and tell you guys, I know fuck all about comics, so I don't know.
Well, that's helpful. This might be something that either I will Google and
it,
edit
like
in.
Put an image over the front, or if you're not doing a YouTube
stick around and shot in. Anyway, The Wicked and the Divine, written by Kieran Gillen, drawn by Jamie McKelvey, coloured by Matthew Wilson, and lettered by Clayton Cowles.
It was good lettering.
It was good lettering. I mean, I'm not going to bring down letterers.
You can't like stamp on Cal's work. He did fantastic.
They might be super bad. Like, I'm not expecting a lot of views, but I don't want to tell you, just in case this is like a letterers only sort of club. I don't want to. There's a job called Flatter. Like, what was Deke Cunningham doing?
But yeah, it's a fantastic comic. In the recent spree of Callum dumping comic books into the pit that is my room,
I traded in
and
a
I'm
load
slowly
of books,
reading them.
So I got like 60 quid on Amazon of trade-in money, and I was like, well, trying to work through the wish list.
But this was one of the ones where I'd sort of ran upstairs, let's not be liars here, the day after, because I'm lazy, but it's a really, really good comic.
It really is. To give you a basic overview, this volume is called The Faust Act. Well, I think it started in September or October of last year, so it's only a few months old. Volume 2 is coming out
soon.
Yes, it's April, between April and July is the months I'm going to go with. And just to read you the blurb off the back, every 90 years 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated, in 2 years they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. So, these gods aren't always the same, but, so for example, you might get the Morrigan 2 cycles in a row, but then she'll disappear for, hundreds of years. And the basic premise of this sort of establishing volume is the fact that we have this fangirl of the Pantheon, Laura, who we will come back to later because we have some issues.
Not so much issues, just shortcomings.
Laura let us down. But Lucifer is accused of murder, and Laura is the only one who believes that she didn't do it, and then sort of sets out to try and find out the real killer, and various things happen. I will warn now that this is probably going to be fairly spoilerific, but we will try to avoid spoiling.
I promise nothing on my part.
I will try to avoid certain things, and, I put Hayden down if I feel he's getting too close to certain spoilers.
But, on a basic premise, it is fantastic. Just the idea of 12 gods cropping up every now and then. They generally go into some sort of entertainment role because they seem to want that worship feel.
Yeah, there's the whole bit where Lucifer's like, if I'm not on a stage, there's no point. They're very, I'm going to try and pronounce it, analogous. Yeah, of pop stars. There's an image of Tara, who we don't actually meet, which basically looks like Lady Gaga.
Lucifer's straight up Bowie.
We have Baal, who is...
He's an amazing sort of Mickey take of Kanye West.
Just glorious. There's the whole, what is it, his mural?
Yeah, he's got a mural. Yeah, is it just from the single, or is it from the entire album?
I can't remember. I know it's sort of from the video.
But it's that image of just Kanye standing there as, like, various divine beings bow down in worship to him.
And then you get Woden's essentially Daft Punk. For
reasons largely unknown. It's pretty funny.
There's something kind of, would you say it's Beatles-esque going on with Minerva's look?
Yeah, it's that sort of era at the very least.
Yeah, it's sort of...
It's a sort of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band thing.
Ananke is just creepy as shit.
Sekhmet's sort of, Rihanna?
Yeah, sort of. That's sort of more sexualised pop star. And then you got...
Amaterasu, who's sort of Florence and the Machine.
Yeah, and then you have the underground...
Oh, they're great.
Literally underground in the Baphomet and Morrigan, both underworld
in abandoned tube tunnels. Because this is all set in London by the looks. Or at least, I'm not actually sure.
It's not made entirely clear because there's a very international feel to them.
I think there was mention of the tube, though.
Yeah, Lucifer seems like she's definitely English.
And there's all the mention of various areas like the O2 and Shepherd's Bush and just standard London arenas for pop stars.
But yeah, Baphomet and Morrigan are both stars of sort of goth, metal rock type people. Baphomet's running around with a
leather jacket and aviators. It's great.
Goat head pendant. So yeah, you get all this basically. Yeah, I'm going to put it down because otherwise I'm just going to start reading it. Vaguely going. Oh,
it becomes dramatic reading. You'd be classier that way.
Who do you think you'd want to? There's only two people here, so we'd have to take quite a lot of roles each. But
I would. I think I'd like to voice Woden.
Woden.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the quote in the when she's doing the interviews? Woden is. I've got to find it.
It's an amazing quote.
Lucifer essentially is,
when she's in the clink.
She gets it. There's a journalist who crops up throughout who basically is a non-believer. Who she believes that there's a lot of doubt about the gods, and it's one of the main things about the whole Lucifer being accused of murder is she actually proves that she's capable of doing things that a human being can't, because she supposedly kills a guy just by clicking her fingers and his head explodes. So there's a lot of doubt about what their powers are, whether there's just special effects, whether they're drugging people, and it mostly comes to this journalist, Cassandra, but she's interviewing Lucifer, and basically Lucifer's giving a sort of rundown on each of the other members of the Pantheon, and why they could have, whether or not she thinks they could have done
She
it.
essentially plays like a huge devil's advocate to the entire idea.
Yeah, and there's there's the first bit. Yeah, in the interview, it's that when Cassandra asks about Woden, Lucifer replies, "Well, who really knows what's going on beneath that mask? Bar inappropriate thoughts about Asian girls, of course." Which is a follow-up to the fact that not only does Woden have his whole Valkyries thing going on, where they're all nubile young Asian women, but when
I think it was called a cheerily jolly racist.
yeah, it's when she
group.
it's Lucifer offers Laura sort of demonhood, which is basically Laura's dream is to sort of join with the gods, and so when Laura's like, "Oh, I'll help you out," Lucifer's like, "Oh, I can give you what you want." Oh yeah, yes, of course can. Look at Woden and his cheerily racist army of ethnic monoculture Valkyrie fuck buddies, which is one of the best ways to slam someone I've heard in a while.
Yeah. But just to praise this thing, the art style is really good. It's sort of just a good mix of realism and I don't quite know how to explain this. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's got these fantastic. It's a shame we're not doing this.
Like the colouring, for one thing, is just outstanding. It's.
I mean, we don't have video on this, but I might put some pictures in or something because there are these truly wonderful portraits of the gods, which sort of serve as chapter headings. Which I mean, some of them, like Baal's is a bit. I mean, it's not bad art, but it's just a bit dull. But then
Well, he does also get his own mural.
Yeah, Morrigan's is pretty fantastic looking.
Yeah.
With those eyes. Drown those puppies. Probably full of glasses.
But yeah, the art is fantastic. The writing is, for the most part, outstanding, except for one issue we'll get on to. Our favourite, Laura, if that is her name.
Who we have to remind.
I honestly, for a second there, questioned myself, is it Lauren? But
she is Laura, I know that's sure. Every single time I have to talk about
should we just get onto that now, actually?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since we can segue nicely. One thing we noticed, I don't know if it was intentional or if it was accidental, even though you see the story through Laura's eyes, neither of us really cared about her. Like, we couldn't remember her name for, we still can't remember her name.
Every single conversation started with, just check her name quickly.
Yeah. And she doesn't do that much of importance. She is literally a narrative device.
Yeah, she's a means through which we see the actions of the gods rather than her own actions in particular.
And if that's about to change in Volume 2 because of things that happen at the end of Volume 1, that would be great and I would be outstanding. But if it continues in Volume 2, she's sort of just an embodiment of narrative vehicle, it's going to be a bit, well, not rubbish because the rest of it's fantastic, but nobody cares about Laura.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of set up at the end that she's got the potential to be very important. Just without spoiling anything, there's a certain gift from Lucifer.
The demon hood.
Yeah, that does suggest that she's.
Well, it suggests a lot of things which we can't really get into yet.
We can't really go into, and also we can't really know for sure because there are so
all
many
theory.
different things that could come out of that. But the problem I have as well is it could literally be she is a conduit for something to happen, like she's been through the most of it, or she could actually now be getting something which is going to make her as important. Which, I mean, it's just hard to... She's not a bad character in that she serves her purpose. It's just that she hasn't got
any attachment
beyond that.
You don't feel any particular emotion towards her.
The only interest is coming from, I wonder who she's going to bump into next.
It's like in a cast of people where we're constantly going, oh my god, say Baal was amazing with such lines as, if you're going to talk behind my back, make sure you're behind my back.
Yeah.
And Lucifer's, I found your name through the magic of searching your wallet. Then it's just disappointing.
Yeah, top bar is still, why did you put in Anna through that wall? 1, not true, nearly through. If I want him to go through a wall, he'd be through the wall. Also, that shot of bar right there.
That, yeah.
I mean, you can't see it again, try and put some pictures over this, but, art is fantastic, and there are a couple...
Lettering is just amazing too.
Yeah, top job, Clayton. I'm so sorry, I feel bad for this guy.
He did a good job.
He did a good job, it's just that his job is something...
His lettering.
Yeah, it's just... I wonder how you end up in that job. How do you get to be a letterer?
I don't know. I'm a physicist.
Yeah, it's all very good looking, and there's quite... I mean, one of the things I really liked, actually, was that you spend a lot of time doubting what they can do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Lucifer herself spends a lot of the time telling you, oh, it's all special effects, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
She's one of them.
But she is also the great deceiver. Also in this, Lucifer is a girl. She's been reborn this time as a woman.
Yeah, I mean, they can appear in any bodies, which is quite an interesting way of doing it, because we obviously all have a typical idea of what a certain god would look like. But,
Yeah.
I mean, for example, Minerva appears in the body of a child, which raises the awkward thing of, yeah, I mean, she says at one point...
She's going to die when she's 16 or something?
Hey, you know what else isn't fair? Dying before you're 14.
14, even. That's even worse.
Yeah, they only live for 2 years.
They die like mayflies and...
Yeah. And think Ananke is the only one who is permanent.
Ananke's
She
weird.
just stays in the same
There's
body.
been very little description on her yet, but I don't expect it because I think she's going to be a huge part. But
we basically just told she's
sort of just like a magical MacGuffin spirit guide to the gods when
she's
they
sort of
spawn.
their caretaker.
Yeah.
She sort of makes sure they don't get out of line and then deals with it if they do. But I mean, yeah, it's late as the plot develops, we sort of get to see them going full sort of god. You know, Lucifer starts throwing fire around,
balls, shooting lightning. He's
Baal just Shazams pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much Shazam. Sekhmet's just jumping around like a weird lion woman.
She just gets sort of fiery eyes.
Yeah.
And stuff, but
she also does tackle someone through a wall, which is a bit more impressive.
Pretty strong. And get Morrigan's craziness.
Morrigan and Baphomet?
Yeah.
They have a great little sequence in the underground.
Morrigan the real MVP, though.
I'll go with Baal.
Yeah, it's hard to... Baal's more fun.
I'm picking favourites and I'm choosing Baal.
Just because you get the whole... It's the thing as well of...
Because he's the Carthaginian god of fuck you.
Except he's not, because he's like...
that's the other Baal.
Baal.
There's like 6 Baals floating around and they're trying to work out which Baal he is, and he just turns up and says, no, I'm this Baal.
Yeah, because essentially... It's always going to be 12 gods, but there's no definitive thing on what those gods will be. Like, we see a sequence at the very beginning where it's completely
We've got
different
a Susanu and what we're assuming is an Athena.
Yeah.
We can't quite work out.
Possibly another Baal?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know the symbols.
But there's no limits, so when someone shows up saying they're Baal, it could be anyone. But yeah, there's they basically bet he's Baal Hamon, Carthaginian god of fuck you. I would have just said I was, just so I could keep saying, you know, he reveals that he's Baal, Hadad or something.
Hadad or Baalaman. And he's a god of like lightning and storms and that sort of stuff.
I do lightning, I do power, and I stop your heart if I look at you in the right way. Yeah, because he's sort of insistent on the fact that he's not into the whole kid sacrifice thing that Baal Hamon was.
Yeah. Just fair enough. I mean,
I mean, Baal's pretty cool.
But another one of the great things is that they brought in a lot of... I don't mean to insult any, like, old world religion here if you're still following it, but they bring in a lot of B-list gods. Yeah. Like, the only A-tier person I immediately... Well, actually, I know a lot, just because of a childhood wasted on mythology and Age of mythology in particular, but Lucifer's the only real big name in their pantheon. You've got Amaterasu kicking around, which she's reasonably well known.
Minerva and Woden aren't too bad.
Woden's not too bad, especially since he's basically Odin.
Yeah, I mean, he's just by a different name.
Yeah.
I suppose he's probably the second biggest. Minerva if you know the sort of Greeks, then you might pick
fairly
up.
large. But she's like low tier in their pantheon.
Yeah, but I mean
anyway.
like Sekhmet and Baal.
Sekhmet's pretty big.
Yeah, but I would I even initially thought Bastet when I saw her.
Yeah, but we've got a Baal kicking about. We've got Baphomet, who's really B tier.
Yeah.
We've got Morrigan.
Morrigan's almost more fairy tale.
Yeah, she's
Celtic
stuff, and it's so fantastic because we were discussing things like I'd love Quetzalcoatl, like just a big old Aztec or Mayan god to just turn up and be like, guys, I want the blood.
Dude, check out my snakes.
Just snakes everywhere.
Give me them heads, yo. I want their hearts. Yeah, I mean,
there's so much potential if they ever wanted to do the series again.
Yeah, because essentially the thing is, the whole 90 years thing means that...
The 90 years thing is difficult because they sort of written themselves into a hole.
We got to see the first group.
Well, we got to see 4 of 12 of the group
8
90
of them
years
were
ago.
already dead. But
8 of them are dead by this point because they've started dying off at the end of their 2-year period. We only get the name of one of them, which is Susanoo, who's Shinto. But, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been made clear. Because the thing is, as well, we don't even know if it's the sort... I assume the gods can't be replaced if they're gone, because otherwise those 8 you'd imagine would have been replaced.
Well, no, unless it's to do with their natural life cycle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if you kill a god partway through their 2 years, if they re-embody.
Maybe. But
or if someone else takes their place.
Yeah,
if like someone else can take a year and a half.
life cycle.
Mm.
Which I don't know if they do. Just in terms of within the world. Yeah, obviously this is again the sort of thing where we don't actually
we have no clue.
have a clue. We're guessing that the most likely thing is they're just going to continue with this
So with the
pantheon that we've been given.
the current pantheon, and that we're not going to get other gods popping up unless there's something huge.
Yeah, unless there's like a new, the rules change.
Another pantheon.
Yeah.
By the way, they're called the Pantheon. I thought that was really cute that they just called their mega pop group the Pantheon.
Super group. The Dark Pantheon.
Yeah, we get the evil Pantheon, the Nega Pantheon, Reverse Pantheon.
All was well until the day the Nega Pantheon attacked.
But it's great. Yeah, you've got no like A tier gods other than Woden kicking around and arguably Lucifer, but not really a god there.
Yeah.
You haven't got Zeus just kicking it around. You haven't got like anybody big in Egyptian mythology. You've got no like Ra. Ra would be great. I think Horus would be pretty kick-ass as well.
There's like a list of ones you could come up with.
It's
Just
just
be cool to show
all
up.
of the gods would be cool to show up.
Yeah.
Let's face it, they have stories told about them for thousands
I
of
mean,
years.
the way they portray them, I'd love to see anyone portray. Like, I'd love to see a Thor show up in this or something.
Thor would be fantastic in this.
I mean, because it's
If they went with the like slightly more dickhead Thor of actual Norse mythology, as opposed to the nice, friendly, blonde
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Babe, man.
I mean, fair play to him. I love Marvel Thor, but other Thor,
man.
he is a gorgeous man.
You go to all the
Probably,
places.
but yeah, the Norse Thor was kind of an arsehole. Went on adventures where he dressed up as a woman, tried to outdrink giants, slept in a giant glove, couldn't even ride upon the magical rainbow bridge because his stupid goats were just too loud and would break it.
What kind of adventures do you
He kept 2 goats and ate one of them every day, even though they respawned, provided he kept their bones. He was the Norse lad.
Yeah, he was, well,
Just Norse lad.
yeah, I mean, we speak of Brodin and Brokey, but really it should be
Braw.
Braw.
God of Brunder.
Also, anyone...
God of Chunder.
Because we've got Minerva,
Yeah.
who's sort of great.
Yeah,
Sort of renaming
she's
it.
that sort of. It's like
We've
that sort of thing.
possibly got an Athena, but I'd love to see a Poseidon.
Poseidon would be
King of the
sick.
Brocians. Yeah, see
You
Poseidon.
could have somebody second tier, because one of the main themes is that it seems all the gods that come back are either sky based or fire based. So you could have somebody like Helios, the god of the sun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he would get up to, because let's be honest, what he mostly did was
He's
just
the lighting man for the other gods.
yeah, he's the light and sound guy.
Well, then you could also need Apollo to do the same.
You could get Hermes.
Yeah, Hermes would be fun.
Yeah.
Get Pan or something.
Yeah, that Pan would be sick.
Like,
Or
proper...
Dionysius would be amazing.
Yeah, but like, with like Pan and Douglas, it wouldn't be like the sort of nice version. Like,
No, the
full-on...
full-on arsehole versions.
I'm just gonna drink and turn people crazy. And rob them.
But yeah, the concept on that front is just fantastic. But Laura, don't care.
Laura, we don't care about. There's also an annoying thing where the gods all do this
They
thing.
they do this 1, 2, 3, 4 thing. Whenever they start doing big magic, there is no description of what it actually is.
It's just,
There's nothing.
the problem as well is it seems to be different, because at times it seems like a sort of calming mechanism.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when people say, close your eyes and count to 10.
Yeah.
Breathe. But then other times it's like when Baphomet and Morrigan are sort of squaring off. Morrigan goes 1 and Baphomet goes 2. Stop. Tell me if we
Tell me if we start counting.
Which seems like that's been something really important.
Is it like a sort of formal challenge, or is it like a count?
A sort of signal of your
Like
power?
to steal from Pacific Rim, a sort of like syncing up, a wind up of their powers to their body?
Yeah, sort of saying like, my power to come in.
Yeah. To tap into the primal spinal of their...
Movie. To reference another comic. Some good life advice we don't know.
Yeah,
That's just not right.
everything should be showing.
Everything should be. We covered everything?
I think we've covered everything we set out to cover.
Yeah.
Read it.
Read it, yeah.
Honest to God, this is an indie one, isn't it? For the most part.
Indie by the standards of... It's not Big 2. Image, so it's like
It's
the upper
not
tier.
completely indie,
Yeah.
but it's still...
It's the big name of sort of indie. So, I mean, these are the guys who did East of West, which is another one we will cover at some point. And it's
I need to
good.
read that.
You need to get around to that. It's very good, very interesting. I think they also released Saga through it.
Saga is... I want to cover that one. That's...
That's just like an hour of us going, though.
Oh, Saga's so good.
Saga. but
Show
Saga.
these guys some love. Buy it, buy Saga.
Yeah,
Please buy Saga. Saga's amazing.
Shut up, we'll get to Saga. We're promoting the Wicked and the Divine. Wicked and the Divine, Volume 1, the Faust Act. You can get it on Amazon and
I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Bid and Planet. Yeah, it is one. We basically agreed what some of that offer us was a lot of the time that we read comics that we love, but
It ends, and
they're not
that's
exciting in a way.
No.
They're very enjoyable.
They're
like,
fun,
I mean,
they're adventurous.
like when we read through the new DC stuff, like
Yeah.
when we get the volumes, it's like, I enjoy reading them, but I'm not like, oh my god, I need to talk to you about this
It's
right
like I
now.
put down the new Teen Titans and it's like, I don't want the next one.
Yeah, but that's just because you're mad so much. That'll be an episode
That's
in
another,
itself. Just
yeah.
not even like here are things we like, just here are my problems with the new Teen Titans. I
Yeah.
don't like that she hates being called Wonder Girl.
I don't care about that, but we'll get on.
So much else.
I'll start my rant on another podcast,
But yeah,
please
pre-order the
try
second
Wicked
one,
and Divine.
or if you don't want to pre-order, it's out very soon. It's out within the next. We're
Few
going into
months.
February now.
Yeah.
Within the next 5 months, it will be out. I can't tell you how long it's intended to be.
I have no clue.
At a guess, I would say it's going to be a fairly short series. In terms of, by comparison to a Big 2 type series where, you know, it ends up running forever, I'm guessing this is going to be a sort of, we're going to do a certain amount of volumes. Yeah, it's not going to be ongoing.
Judging by the size of this, I'd
Yeah.
say like 4 or 5.
Yeah, especially, I mean, there's a certain point at which I wouldn't want to read anymore.
Well, after it starts just going for the money.
Because I think, once they've solved the Lucifer thing, there's probably still
I wouldn't
more
mind
stories they
seeing
could get.
the 1900s one.
Yeah, if they start flashing back, I wouldn't be surprised if they showed us more, just because at the moment it's been a bit like
It's
such a brief image.
such a tease.
But I wouldn't expect it to be more than sort of 2 or 3 main story arcs.
No.
Because otherwise they're just going to start
I'd
stretching out. to the point where
Hardly be surprised if they got past 2.
Yeah. But, yeah, all good things. Buy it. Pre-order the second volume.
Pre-order Saga.
Pre-order Saga. Pre-order all the other things.
I love Saga.
Well,
I
eventually
love Wicked and Divine.
Yeah.
I need to read East and West.
East of West.
East of West.
Bitch. East of West is a very different beast altogether. But, hopefully you people will enjoy it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. So thank you for listening to us.
Yeah.
Just meander on about various things.
Well, I think I've said the word "yeah" about 500 times in the last half hour.
We've also just discussed some really...
We've been drinking.
I only had one.
He's been drinking less.
You didn't bring up the bud, you promise.
I drank most of the bud, I promise.
So you drank it whilst the number went down whilst you were in this room. Yes, so hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for listening. Do all the regular YouTube things. You know, like, subscribe, vaguely racist comments.
Send me love messages. I need the self-esteem.
At Palmer Love. We shall... we're not going to make a promise of this being a regular thing, just because...
I'd like it to be, but 90% of the time...
Life.
Yeah.
Life's
bad.
And hopefully this will return reasonably soon. Goodbye.